What's up, guys? Welcome to another little episode of the 10 Horse Money YouTube channel. A little boat mod I'm doing. I'm putting the floor in my boat now. It's coming along nicely, so I'm down to the last few projects, and let me show you what I feel is the best way to put a floor in a John boat. Now what I've got is a piece of aluminum right here. Let me back up. Let me show you what I got underneath the ribs here. And I have to pull this up on my phone because it's like a crazy name that I definitely cannot remember it. It's made by Owens Corning, and it's a foamular extruded polystyrene insulation. It's a 4x8 sheet of closed cell foam. Let me show you what a little piece of this stuff looks like. It's really dense, it's real rigid. I should have brought it over here so you guys didn't have to walk around with me, but here it is right here. So it's foam, okay? Made by Owens Corning. It's got the little pink panther on it because it is pink. This stuff is really rigid. You can stand on it and it doesn't give a whole lot. You know, I weigh like 215, so it'll hold you up. So what I've done is, you have ribs in your John boat. The first thing you need to do is measure how tall your ribs are. My ribs happen to be 2 inches tall. So I bought the 2-inch thickness of this foam. It comes in, I think it comes in 1/2 inch increments, maybe 1/4 inch. So 1/2 inch, let's just go with 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inch. And they may throw quarter inch increments in there. I'm not 100% sure, but I bought 2-inch foam because that's what I needed. That's going to get me to the top of my ribs. So the next step was to use just a carpet knife. I got it right over here. That's a 9mm blade on that, and it slices very, very nicely. Did a really good job of getting me some nice exact cuts. So you're just going to measure in between your ribs. This one was like 12.5 inches. This one was like 13. This was a different size. And then we've got this one down here. So you're just gonna take that 4x8 sheet and you're gonna cut it to fit. Lay it in your ribs. That brings that foam that makes you a solid base, including your ribs. You know, the ribs and the top of the foam are pretty much level. And here's kind of what it looks like. I haven't laid the aluminum in the front part of my boat. So that's what it looks like. Here's my ribs, and then this is the piece of foam. I just got it laying in there right now. 2-inch thick foam. It's laying in there. Okay. So this is aluminum, and if you're going to glue any kind of carpet on aluminum, which I'm going to, you got to rough it up. That aluminum's really slick and it's hard to find. I'm not saying there's not an adhesive that will work, but it's hard to find one that will, if you can find one. So the best thing to do is just take an angle grinder, a drill with some kind of a heavy duty sanding disc on it or something, and you just gotta rough it up. I mean, it takes a while. It's kind of a little bit messy. You gotta scuff up that surface really good and then clean it off. You can clean it off with alcohol. I took a shot back and vacuumed up all, as much of the little aluminum particles that I could, because it's just little bitty shavings. And you could probably, if it wasn't like 15 degrees outside like it has been, you could go out in the yard with a water hose and spray it off real good and let it dry out in the sun if you're doing this project in like late spring or something. Bottom line is you need to rough it up so that glue can stick. Now the next part, this is let's see, 48 inches by 58.5, and this 16 gauge aluminum. You can use really light aluminum because you've got that foam underneath your ribs, and you don't need heavy gauge aluminum. And this, that aluminum is really, really light. It's expensive, but it's light. I think I bought a 4x10 sheet, and I think it weighed, I want to say it weighed 27 pounds. let me show you what I took out, what was in there. Okay, I had same dimensions. It was 48 by 56.5 piece of 3/4 inch marine grade plywood. That stuff is heavy. I couldn't hardly get this thing out. This thing, I haven't weighed it yet. I'm gonna get a scale down here and I'm gonna stand on it and get a weight on this. It's well over 50 pounds. So I went from 50 pounds to, let's just say that piece weighed 27 pounds and it was 4x10, and I cut it almost in half. So, you know, that's probably, let's just say it's down to like 15 pounds. I mean, I dropped like, 35 pounds or so out of my boat, and that's huge. You guys that have aluminum boats, that's a big deal. Weight is speed in a little boat with a 9.9 on it. So I got that going. I cut down some weight here, so I've drawn these lines right here, and I'm going to pop rivet. Got your rivet tool. Got your rivets. I'm actually not going with 1/4 inch. I'm going to go with 3/16 on that, but I bought some more rivets, but same concept. So all you do when you're doing the rivets, if you guys haven't did it before, you're just going to drill a hole. You take your 3/16 inch drill bit if you're doing 3/16 rivets, 1/4 inch if you're doing 1/4 inch rivets. Drill those holes. I'll drill a hole probably every, I don't know, 4 inches maybe. I'll button it down pretty good, and you just pop rivet that sucker down, run them right along these ribs. I've got the ribs marked, and that'll snug that floor up. And then I'm gonna get some, I've already bought carpet. I'm gonna carpet it, and I'll probably put a little piece of padding right here, because this area takes a lot of beating, because that's where your feet sit at when you're running the boat. And especially in the winter time, if you've got some heavy duty boots, you can scuff your carpet up and stuff. So it's a good idea to put some kind of padding or something, just a little extra under there. I mean, while you've got it naked like this, you might as well go ahead and do it right. That's based off past experiences, things that have happened in other boats. I know that's a vulnerable spot right there on your boat. So after I do that, it's going to get carpet. Everything else in this boat is going to be carpeted. I'm getting real close to finishing up. I think that is about it on that. So just wanted to give you a little rundown on what I'm doing on the floor of the boat, and this has worked out great. This is what I did in my last boat. Did the same concept. I put the foam in there and I put the thinner aluminum over the top of that, and it worked great. Several of my friends have done the same things to their boat. So it's a tried and true way to put a floor in your John boat without adding very much weight to it at all. So I hope this video helps. Subscribe if you haven't, please. Help the channel grow. It's growing. I really appreciate all your support. And until next time.